this is not the place for you to be. So let's have fun, let's get messy. Throw on your unitard and come with me. Welcome to the Slop. Now let's get sloppy. Let's get sloppy.
Yes, that's right. The Slop is back here on a Monday night. First Slop of the month of September. I'm very excited to be getting sloppy with you here once again. And boy, do we have a treat for you here today. Let's welcome in the great frail Mary Kwiatkowski. Mary, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here. I know that it's been a while. I haven't been on the Slop yet because I was in that bowling league. It was really important, but
you never have appeared on the Slop this season.
I haven't. I know. I've made absolutely 0 appearances so far on the Slop, but as my debut for season 23, I'm excited to be here. It's September. It's spooky season. So things are getting spooky in the Big Brother house, getting spooky on the feeds, and there's ups and downs, there's tragedy, there's tears, there's hilarity. We got it all. So I'm excited to talk about some things this week.
Mary, are you big into spooky season? I know you podcast about Riverdale. That's a pretty scary show. You like Twilight. That's kind of scary.
So scary. The emotional turmoil.
Black magic and the occult.
Yeah, it's really all of those things. So scary, definitely up my alley. I'm actually really terrified of like actual horror. So I like to get down into the real scary things like the relationship between a human and a vampire. It's real scary.
When you say you're really scared of actual horror, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I'm not going to be the first person to jump on the let's go see The Exorcist train. So that's, actual, I hate the worst thing about seeing a movie that's like PG-13, even if it's like a rom-com or whatever, is once you go to the movie theater for that or an R-rated movie, they're like, great, we got you here. You're of an appropriate age, so we can show you all the trailers of horror films. I didn't want to see that. Mm-hmm. Stop. That's I don't like that. It's against my will. So I had to watch that old trailer so many times. Not doing
I watched a podcast about that. I never got to see it.
You're missing out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All
right. Well, Mary, if there's only some avenue for you to be able to give these complaints to the film industry, the movie industry, maybe we can channel that later on in this podcast today.
Maybe. I had to complain to a movie theater once in person. What? I know. I really pulled it was very, very nice, but I did say, but can I talk to a manager? Mm-hmm. Because I got to a movie theater and I was about 5 minutes late, and I knew I was 5 minutes late. And so then they ripped my ticket, but when they ripped it, they ripped off the auditorium number, and the guy pointed me in a direction, and I went there into the movie, and the movie was like 45 minutes already into it, but I didn't realize that I wasn't like just 5 minutes into the movie. So then an hour later, the movie was done. I was like, wait a second. I knew this was confusing the whole time. And so I asked if I could come see it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maximus Mom is getting the hashtag Mary complains.
I know.
Hashtag going.
Bad. I mean, it's partially my fault, but I needed to see the first half of Mission Impossible, whatever it was.
Oh, was it Mission Impossible 6?
It wasn't, but that would have been. I did see the whole thing about that one, so that's okay.
Okay. All right, so Mary, as far as the world of Big Brother goes, where are you at this week?
In terms of the actual Big Brother proper episodes, live feeds, it's okay. It's been a little bit of a sad week, I think, for most people.
Sure.
Kind of a downer. If you're a Claire fan, it's a little sad. Mm-hmm. If you're a fan of like people having to change their plans based on competition outcomes, then it was at least interesting. There was something interesting that happened.
This season is too boring. nothing
Yeah.
ever happens. And then, well, now you got something happening. Okay.
Yeah, something happened. So it's been okay, but I liked the episodes for the most part. I think in general the episodes this season have been like relatively fun, even if
They're
they're
fun. Yeah.
not always the most accurate. But like it's been good. The cast. This is what happens when you get a mostly likable cast. Is that
Mhm.
the show is pretty good. So
Yeah. And Mary, I always, connect you and Claire because I remember a couple of weeks ago on the live feeds that Claire was asking who is doing the live feeds today
yes.
on Sunday. And then you responded that I believe the person that Claire is trying to think of is me.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I am generally on the days that I am on is Sunday. So, yeah, come on, Claire. I mean, you said hey, Taryn and the crew and whoever's on Sunday. I can't think of who that is. Think of who it is. I wanted to
Mhm.
see her go through the whole list. Say you got your Puya Fridays and your Liana Saturdays and Mary Sunday. That would be nice. Thank
Mhm.
you. So make
Yeah.
that a thing. Get it trending.
It'd be nice if somebody could go on the show and give like the whole schedule.
I would like that. Wouldn't that be great for you if someone sat there and just said, "No, make sure you tune in at 9 o'clock Eastern time after the episode for the
Mhm.
RHAP." And
Right.
now they'll know the slop, is on Mondays, so they
Yeah.
don't. That's not their fault that they didn't know that one ahead of time. But next year.
The closest we got was Cliff, and he would give some shout outs, but he would never like give like any times and anything or like calls to action.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And I think that they should really know that if you're in the house and you have any knowledge of the podcast, like shout it out because then we can mention it on the podcast.
Mhm. Yeah. You could do all the plugs on live feeds. All right. So let's talk about some stuff. We've got a lot of Kai complains gold for you today, and maybe some things that you haven't heard about yet. So we're going to talk about that here today in the podcast. But why don't we open with something else?
Okay. Yes. Let's open with something that's look, if you if you have little children around,
Yeah.
know.
Well, nobody should let little children watch the slop. I wouldn't even do that.
How PG-13 has the slop been so far? Like is that
Well,
you guys did talk about who the hottest OTEV
we
was.
talked about who the hot, but that was more PG, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I think last week with Jacob Jones, we probably got a little bit, probably, a parental discretion was strongly advised, maybe towards the last 45 minutes with Jacob Jones last week. But, you know me, I don't work super blue. Try to keep
Okay.
this like pretty friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. But I would
I
say
don't go
like
full bloom too often, Mary.
just occasionally.
Mhm.
I think right now that if you have little children, hide their eyes for sure. This was I'm ashamed to say that my reaction to this was a multi step reaction.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a it's kind of kombucha girl, it was like, I don't know about that. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, this isn't a video clip, but so we have always enjoyed checking in with Frenchie all
Mm-hmm.
season long. And Frenchie is, very active on Instagram. Didn't really go too hard back on the Twitter. But of course, we know how Frenchie felt about the meatheads in the Big Brother house, right?
Hates the meatheads. They have to go first.
Mhm.
And I think the real thing though here is what makes a meathead. And is it the fact that you just generally need to be shirtless? Because I think a lot of us have been wondering, what's he hiding under those overalls?
Yeah. Great question. Well, Frenchie has taken to Instagram to reveal indeed what is going on there, and let's check in on Frenchie's Instagram that he had this post 3 days ago to say, once upon a time in the not so distant past, I was a meathead. What emoji is this, Mary?
This is the like. Oh, I don't.
Ooh,
Ooh, what about
6,
that?
7 of those?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Is is that a hand on the chin? Is it just a sideways face? It's hard to tell, but it's not an emoji I post a lot. I do love that the top comments here are from other Big Brother participants. Yeah, so champagne, Brent Champagne.
Fly with champagne. He said, my man was part of the club the whole damn time.
Was that the plan? Was the plan that he was going to take out all the meatheads and then take his shirt off and say, "Ha ha! And I'm the only meathead left."
I am the only meathead left. Yes, very smart. Well, Frenchie said, "Do you know much I had to eat preseason to flab out?" Mary, what is this? People gain weight to go on Big Brother?
Was he trying to go on a different show? I don't think that's a thing. I mean,
it's not a thing.
It's not a thing. You don't need to like build up I mean, I know that slop can break you down a little, but it's more of like an energy thing for the most part.
Mary, can we just go back to the photo here and just could you think you could describe for the audio listeners?
Okay, so
we're on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, Frenchie, look, this is the slop. Frenchie's made appearances on the slop itself, so I think that this is okay to talk about. I don't think he would mind us objectifying his body here.
Yeah.
This is a just really close up shot of about 2/3 of Frenchie's torso. I'll say. Photo cuts off at the neck, so we don't actually have proof that this truly is Frenchie. I think we'd have to do some tattoo comparison.
Catfishing.
Yeah, he could be catfishing. There's a very interesting tattoo that's sort of in the forefront next to the belly button region. And then you got one arm in there. But the photo is taken as if someone has taken their camera, held it sort of down low and is doing like an upwards angle shot, just like right up the 6-pack. So
yeah.
It's intriguing.
He himself is taking this photo, or do you think that a second party is taking the photo?
Based on the position the second party would have to be to take this photo, I'm going to hope that it's Frenchie himself taking it.
Yeah.
I'm going to hope that it's that.
It's a wild photo. You don't see a lot of photos at this angle.
No, it's you've got the like tasteful single nipple going,
tasteful.
Very tasteful. It's also unclear whether or not this was like a overexposed picture. What's going on with the background, because it just appears to be sort of bright white, almost as if he's standing outside in the sun, and that's just.
Oh, you think so? Yeah, I got the sense that maybe it's just sort of like it seems like that the resolution seems very low. I feel like he's taking this picture with a Game Boy Color, I think.
Okay, that checks out. That sounds good. Let's hope that it's him holding the Game Boy Color and not like a child at that height.
Don't joke.
I'm just trying to figure out the angle here. It's confusing. But the caption, "Once upon a time in the not so distant past," is this just you're implying like directly before the show, or is this years ago, Frenchie?
Yeah, I don't know. How long in the not so distant past? And is this a precursor to Farmer Frenchie joining many other Big Brother alums on the OnlyFans?
Yeah. What do we got? Only Frenches. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Only farms. Yeah, something like that. Farming though, that's a pretty intensive activity. So I think that he's slinging those hay bales and whatnot.
Okay. All right. So there you go. We don't need to keep looking at this. There's Frenchie, and so. Now, I'm wondering that do you feel like that Big Brother has been so inspired by these thirsty Frenchie photos that they have decided to follow suit? And now check out this video that Big Brother has posted of here's Derek X from the jury house. Have you seen this, Mary?
I have, I'm a sucker for any kind of DX content. So
Mhm.
I watch this. Um, Derek lounging here by the pool, just
Yeah.
reading his calculus textbook or whatever that was.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, I didn't see you there. I was reading my calculus book."
Yeah, that's what happens. You play Big Brother, you get off, you study for the SAT. It's
Mhm.
all, it's really just spending his time the best way he knows how. But yeah, we got some shirtless Derek X within the house, but I think that um this is a better, clearly higher quality shot here from a
Mhm.
more traditional angle, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the camera people are maintaining a social distancing, good, area between them and the subject matter.
Yes. Yeah, I think that this one makes a little bit more sense. Now, based on the different videos I've seen from around this area, this looks like sort of I'm pretty sure that that side table next to Derek X is the exact same one that my parents used to have by their pool. So are they just at
Yes.
like someone's house? Is is what it seems like based on this and the Brittany Derek X video. They seem to just kind of be in like someone's driveway.
You think that they're camped out in somebody's backyard?
I mean, I don't think that's what they actually are doing, but it's definitely got those vibes compared to back in the day, Big Brother 4 era where they would,
Mhm.
take you to Cancun or wherever.
Yeah, I think that with the traveling, I think that they've just
Yeah.
gotten, an Airbnb somewhere.
Yep. Yeah. Wouldn't that be great to put on your Airbnb I don't know,
This was
like
the site of the Big
yeah,
Brother 23 jury house.
I don't know if you could do that, but I think it'd be good.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
probably have to
the
sign some
laws
sort of
for
like
that.
an NDA.
Probably.
Mhm.
Probably. Where do you think he got that calculus textbook if that's what that is?
I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, it's Derek X is joking, right? He's not
I'm
reading a
sure, but
calculus
I'm
textbook, right?
looking at it and it looks more like a car manual or something. Like it doesn't look like an actual
Mhm.
traditional novel or
Yeah.
something.
Well, I'm enjoying this. I like the skits going on from the jury house. That I know we were looking at one earlier where Derek X and Brittany were playing a game of this or that.
Yes, and that was the one that I felt like just looked at. It looked like a driveway of someone that I used to babysit. It's like, okay, kids, okay, go out here and we're gonna do some this or that, and then we're gonna draw with chalk for a little while. That's kind
Mhm.
of the what it looks like to me. But yeah, this or that. It was cute. I think they knew what they were doing there by asking whether or not they would rather be in a bromance or a showmance, and they both chose bromance, which was just the Derek X and Hannah stands are just sitting at home crying because of that.
Mhm. Yeah. How do you think that Sarah Beth is going to shake up the jury house?
I think there's two different options. Either we've got the sort of tearful option or the more uh, checked out, annoyed kind of option. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I see her coming in and being particularly enthusiastic about the situation. What about you?
No, I don't think she's going to be pumped up to be there. I'm just wondering if like maybe minus Kylan, does she come out of her shell a little bit?
That would be nice. I
We
mean,
get like
Sarah.
fun cosplay.
Yeah, that would be
SE.
fun. I think it
Mhm.
depends like what kind of skit options they give her. If they're just asking her, how much do you regret all your choices in the Big Brother house kind of questions like she's been getting, that can
Mhm.
be a bit of a downer. But if they really get her to interact, I think Brittany and Derek X are two great people to be there to hopefully cheer her up and bring her out of their shell. I mean, Sarah Beth sent Derek X out of the house, but I think there's some you can be a little bit more jovial knowing that your
Easier loves
person who got you
company.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'll be okay. I think they could have some fun and maybe they can invite her into the chalking the driveway and whatnot.
Yeah. I honestly think if you're Derek X also like I mean, how much fun are you having with Brittany 24/7?
I think it'd be fun.
I'm sure
I'd
there's
love to
some
hang
fun.
out
I'm
with
sure there's
Brit.
some fun, but I think you're
Yeah.
also like, "Oh, a new person. Okay."
Yeah, sure. I think that'd be it'll be an interesting dynamic to see them. They're three pretty different people, so I'm curious to see. I don't think we're getting like a dragons band kind of scenario happening out
Mhm.
of this, but if they can, if Sarah Beth can realize like now you're out of the show, but you're still getting some of this content that Big Brother's posting on their Facebook page and stuff. Maybe
Mhm.
she can realize that she can, follow suit with what Brittany and Derek X, who are two very loved players of the game, are doing, and maybe get some fans to kind of turn around their opinion on her.
Yeah, I guess my question is that Maximus Mom asks, SB will be a TikTok dancing star when Britt is done with her. Like, yeah, where are the CBS TikTok dances? Like, where are the rap songs?
Yeah, Big Brother Canada
Like, there
was
should be
really
an
good at this.
album by the time
Right.
the jury is over.
There really should be. I mean, they made enough songs within the house. So
Mhm.
if they've got the time and the equipment, they should be doing that. I think it would be great. And it really all is going to come down to whether or not Sarah Beth is like gonna play ball, or if she just kind of is over it and wants to sit alone or something. We'll see.
Okay. Mary, I want to check in with Dalton Ross's weekly interview with Julie Chen Moonves. Mary, have you noticed anything different from Julie Chen Moonves this season?
Well, I was wondering if maybe she was a little bit lower energy. I mean, this is her second season in the time of COVID and without the live audience. But the first time around, there was the novelty of being able to film television in this kind of structure, and the all stars really helped, and she got to make her. Who is the person she compared Danny to?
That
The
beautiful actress,
beautiful
which
actress.
was named.
Oh shoot, this is killing me too. Oh well.
Tell us in the chat.
Yeah, they'll tell us. But I feel like this season there's been a lot of mic flubs. There's been a lot of can you hear me? Can you not hear me? And I just wonder if she's maybe not as Busy Phillips. Yes, very beautiful
Phillips,
actress,
thank
Busy
you.
Phillips.
Yes.
And I just feel like she seems like maybe it's been a little bit harder on her to not have that audience. Do you think they should be doing what they did for sporting events for a while, like putting like cardboard cutouts in there? I mean, the lights on stage must be pretty bright. If you turn them up bright enough to where everything kind of blurs, and then you just add in some canned laughter, I feel like that could work.
Well, there's really two ways to go. So like last year at sporting events that they had like cardboard cutouts of people, sort of like the Jeff Probst cutout. That's one way they could have gone. Or there's like the WWE version of this where it's like people at home are like on Zoom and they have like the monitors all around. I think
Yes.
that would be the more fun way to go.
I think it would. I think having the live audience on Zoom, though, that might be a little distracting if I'm already trying
Mhm.
to listen to the voices in my ear piece
Mhm.
for Julie. But man, I always forget about that. Remind me come Survivor season to get my Jeff Probst cardboard cutout out from
Do you
under my
have one?
bed. Yeah, he's under my bed generally.
Yes.
It's kind of big. It's a big thing to set up. Mostly, here's the problem with the Jeff
Like life
Probst.
size, right?
Well, yeah, he's life size, and he's in the Jeff Probst blue shirt and khakis. So
Sure.
it's a pretty normal looking person. It's not like you got, Iron Man or something. It's just
I was
average
just saying that
average human.
when you have people over, they say, why do you have a cardboard man at your house?
No, it's not that. Luckily, it's worse actually. Is I'll walk into the house and open the door and go and it scares me
Oh,
because
you
I
get
think there's a
scared.
person. I think there's a real person there. So,
Mhm.
plus sometimes my roommates would just
Well,
like take him
yeah.
and hide him in your closet or
Mary,
whatever.
just
And
remember.
Be not afraid.
Yeah.
okay, I will try to remember that. But I got it. Yeah, I'll get the Jeff Probst cutout back out. But when someone's moving Jeff Probst into your closet and into your kitchen, it can be a scary thing to turn on the lights to.
Okay. Yeah, that's like one of those horror movies that when you go see those previews.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. But I'll remember to be not afraid from now on.
Yeah. Okay. So let's check in with what Dalton Ross had to ask Julie. So this past week, we heard Kyland in his goodbye message. He did shout outs and then said, but first, and then did his shout outs. And Julie Chen Moonves, after he was done, said to him,
"Thank you, Kylan. Thank you both. By the way, but first, it's copywritten. Just saying. Nice shout out, actually. All right.
Okay, just saying. Okay. Dalton Ross asked Julie Chen Moonves about this, which I don't know, seems like it was an obvious joke. But this is where Dalton Ross opened up his conversation with Julie Chen Moonves and to ask her, what's this about but first being copyrighted? Do tell. Julie Chen Moonves laughs, making myself laugh. It was a joke and a line I learned when I was a local news reporter in Dayton, Ohio. Whenever I repeated a funny original joke to my favorite videographer, whenever I repeated a funny original joke that my favorite videographer made, he'd say, "Hey, that's copywritten." And then we'd laugh. I'm just realizing now I ripped him off once again. So I guess I better give him credit. Todd Jackson is his name, and 26 years later, we are still friends today. Thank you, Todd. Wow. So his joke is, hey, that's copyrighted, and she stole that joke.
Yeah, the copyright inception here. It's really going. Now, do you think that this didn't come off quite as well for her because Kylan wasn't able to like laugh back and have her hear that when he said that? I love this idea of just being able to copyright anything you say. I think I should start doing that. Yeah, I think I should start doing that. Coming up with some things and copywriting it. Yeah. I wonder, do you think there's been a lot of stuff in the last couple of years that people have tried to copyright in the media, sayings and titles? Yeah. Do you think that that Julie could copyright But First?
I don't know who would refute her claim. I mean, I feel like that But First merch might be doing pretty well, no?
Yeah, how would the blockumentary fare for that, though?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Oh, we could get in big trouble. I hope But First is not copyrighted.
Maybe you should copyright it first, and
copyright it first.
Yeah,
But first, yeah. So I mean, I do think that Julie Chen Moonves should be going for some But First merch. It might be better than all of the church merch that she's trying to push on the contestants this season.
Yeah, I think it's got a little bit of a more unique appeal for sure. I don't know. Would you buy some But First merch?
No. What merch am I buying?
What if this is like, obviously this might be the one top of mind here, but you can bring back the like script on the butt joggers, Yeah, I think that would work.
But I would think that you would like almost like a crisscross, like ideally if you could wear the pants backwards, so you literally could
so you literally are But First. That would be good. Yeah. I think there's room there to play around.
Maybe it's like But First, and then on the other side, expect the unexpected.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Derek X. I love what you did there.
Yes. Yeah, she could do a lot. She's got a lot of these. She just needs to listen to the podcast, look at Twitter, see what's sticking, realize that making myself laugh is great. I think she could be doing some merch ideas with that. So there's all kinds of stuff here.
Got a lot going on. Okay.
Ooh, bumper sticker But First. That's another good one. Good job.
Okay.
Yes.
Mary, there's been a big news story in the world of Big Brother this week, and it has to do with the social media musings of one of the Big Brother contestants this season, and that would be none other than Kylan Young, who the intrepid internet audience of Big Brother happened to be doing a routine scroll through of his entire timeline and found that Kylan has been very active on social media, working with brands.
Yeah. You could call him a advocate for customer service.
Mhm.
And the just a real a real keen person he's got the desire to be treated the way that he thinks he should be, and if he sees a problem in your brand, he's got to point it out.
Mhm. Mary, do you do any customer service in your work?
I have definitely done some customer service in the past. I've worked in retail. I've worked in food, and I've worked in consulting. I've done some customer service. I've called people, asked for survey responses, all
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Luckily, I have never been the social media correspondent for any of these kind of situations, but I don't know if I envy the people who are having to respond to Kylan here.
Well, Kylan has had a lot of different complaints to these different brands that, I'm a big believer, I think all work is customer service. And I thought that
Yes.
it would be a useful exercise here today for the, Rob Has a Podcast employees to take a good lesson. I think that this is like a crash course in social media customer service.
Okay, so we should be looking at how the
We're gonna
clients
make a training
are
video.
responding. Okay, great. Yeah, I like this. I like this. You could probably get Kylan to even be a participant in that training video after the fact. But
You think that maybe we may say in like 23 days may be on the receiving end of some feedback from Kylan?
well, I think that that's possible, but I think if you reach out to him and say that you really like the work that he has done on Twitter, reaching out, and that we
Mhm.
as a company really want to make sure that we are responding with the correct customer service, that you could get him to maybe pitch what the best responses are, what the best responding time is. That's very important to him
Mhm.
as well. So I like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I know a lot of you listening are familiar with this issue, but this was a trending topic this past week. Hashtag Kai complains. Kylan, when he does not is not completely satisfied with a brand, he lets them know about it on social media. Mary, he's keeping these big businesses and brands accountable.
Yeah. Some brands will have like a little suggestion box, and I think
Sure.
Kylan has really taken that to heart.
Okay. All right. So let's check in with what Kylan has to say to some various different brands. And this is not a all inclusive list, but this is just some of my favorites that we'll check out. Let's see what Kylan had to say to Popeye's chicken. You ever indulge in the Popeye's chicken, Mary?
Well, of course. I mean, after like 2019, you had to.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Popeye's chicken here. Here's what that's they had a on June 18th, 2020. They came out and said, first time's the charm when it comes to our chicken sandwich. Get one free when you spend $15 on your first order of the Popeyes app now through June 30th. Okay. That seems like a good message, right? Let everybody know.
Sounds like it. I
Yeah.
appreciate this.
Kylan said, can y'all please use the spicy chicken seasoning on the sandwich so we don't have to get the spicy mayo if we want a kick in our sandwich? Okay. I don't believe that they responded to this.
No responses there. No, I mean Popeyes does have a separate spicy chicken sandwich, I believe. So he wants just the spicy seasoning to be used on all of their sandwiches, so he doesn't have to get the specific one. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Good. He has used please. So I think that that's the way that you want to be approaching brands. And I think, unfortunately, didn't get a direct response. And that might be because there's, 120 other comments under this chicken sandwich. That's a lot for Popeyes to get to. I think if you want to approach a brand, maybe you need to slide into the DMs.
Okay. Could we craft a response if we were if like as a training exercise? Could we craft a response here for Kylan?
Sure. If you're Popeyes, I think you respond back, Kylan, thank you so much for pointing out that some of our clients need that extra kick. We will, unfortunately, some people cannot handle the heat,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
You
therefore,
you can handle it. Not
yeah, you can
everybody
handle it.
can.
Yeah, you can handle it, but if I think the other thing, and this is what I would do if I was the company, I would say, let's give them, let's give them a task, set the bar somewhere, tell them if you can get a certain number of people to be on your side, then we will change, because people like a gimmick and people like a challenge, right? So if Popeyes came at them with, if you can get a petition going with 500,000 signatures, then it's all spicy all the time.
Yeah. I mean, as a big brand here as Popeyes, not sure necessarily if we're gonna change our sandwich based on one Twitter comment.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. He's one of many here, and one comment of many. I think he needs to start smaller. Maybe find some smaller brands to reach out to. But
maybe change.org first to get us to change the recipe of the sandwich. Okay. All right. So, all right, Mary, that was an easy one. Okay.
Yes.
Not too bad. Okay. How about Colgate toothpaste? Do you use Colgate?
Occasionally I'm more of a what is it? It's not Scotch. What's it called?
Scotch. Yes.
It's not a scope. More of a scope. Person myself.
Yeah.
I like to gargle with some Scotch after brushing my teeth. Scope is generally where I go, but Colgate's fine too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's check in. So Super Bowl 2019, Kylan saw a commercial and took to Twitter to mention it. That on February 3rd, 2019, me watching this at Colgate commercial, and this is like the emoji that's not a good emoji. That's like the didn't like it. I'm basically a Crest guy. But this was kind of fun. Hashtag Super Bowl 53. Hashtag Super Bowl commercials. Hashtag marketing tips. I'm so confused. Does he like this or does he not like this?
I think he's saying that he's normally a Crest guy, but the Colgate commercial was almost good enough to make him change his brand. He responds, I just don't like it, but retweet and send me some toothpaste to convert me for good.
Yeah, well, here's what he has to say. Yeah. Let's listen to what's he saying here.
Me watching this Colgate commercial with Luke Wilson.
Okay, so that he liked it. He liked Luke Wilson, liked the commercial, and that I guess they liked this video. And he said, "Hey, don't just like it, retweet and send me toothpaste for good." So he's all he's like shaming them, like, "Hey, retweet my post, you cowards."
I love that he has this 5-second video. Have you ever watched a commercial and thought, you know what, I could get something out of this if I send my reaction? It's not enough to tweet, but if I send a video reaction, I think it's also great that he ends with the big smile showing his teeth. That's really on brand for toothpaste. I'm sure they like that. That. Yeah. Have you? Is there a commercial you think that you would film yourself watching? I got really close during those old commercials for the movie to film a video.
What was your video response going to be?
It was going to be, I hate horror films.
Corner.
It's going to be, I hate horror films, but I've seen this commercial so many times now, and I want to know, why are they getting old? Maybe send me free tickets and maybe you'll make me go to the movie. Yeah.
Maybe I should just tomorrow just start complaining about a bunch of brands and see if it ends up getting picked up anywhere. People can start the oh, Rob complaining hashtag.
I think that's good. I think doing it all at one time, that's certainly going to get the bump. I think it might be kind of the lottery system, right? Like if you complain enough, you'll eventually get something from a brand. So.
But Mary, why is this hashtag marketing tips? Was he grading all the commercials that night?
Maybe. I mean, it's a Super Bowl commercial, right? So that's the kind of thing that people like to do during the Super Bowl is critique the commercials.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what the tip is, unless the tip is just include Luke Wilson in all your commercials.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Colgate did respond that very day. We want the smiles to continue. DM us your info and we will send some your way. And he wrote back, y'all may win me over yet.
There we
DM
go.
sent. Does Kylan use y'all that much in the house, or is this just only on social media?
It's hard to tell because I use y'all a lot in my life, so I'm kind of like, I don't notice it when other people do, but in text, I am noticing this a lot in his tweets.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's really that. What's the alternative? You guys? What
You
do people
all?
say when they
Yeah.
don't? You walk around saying you all?
No, I think that y'all is good because where you would say you guys it might not only be guys that you're talking, you don't know who you're talking to.
Sure. Yeah, y'all. I just I say y'all all the time. So
Okay. So all right, Mary, do you watch any Adult Swim?
I remember the first time vividly that I heard about Adult Swim. And I was very confused because I didn't understand what the kid at school was talking about, how he was staying up late and watching Adult Swim. I thought there was like a show of adult swimming. And I'm like, that sounds kind of boring. But I mean, is it synchronized? so like diving? I don't know. Is this the Olympics you're talking about? Like, I watch Adult Swim on the Olympics all the time. But yeah, but as I got older, I partook occasionally. It's not for me the most, but
yeah. All right, so this okay. Now, all right, this is where we need to really get to work because Kylan is not happy. Okay, this comes to us from February 16th, 2020. Boy, and Kylan does not know how bad things are about to get. But so here we go. He writes to at Adult Swim. Can you please make your app less stupid? Just make it like every other content streaming on-demand app. It's currently annoying to navigate via app, computer, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV. I'm sorry to whoever designer friend is going to lose here, but this is terrible.
Yeah, this is really sad. I mean, okay, let's critique this. So starting from the top, he used please, and it's in all caps.
All caps.
Now, does the all caps please make it less polite or more polite putting it in all caps? Kind of feel like it's a little bit intense with the please in all caps. But I have developed some apps in my day as a software developer. I've developed some apps. I've developed some websites, and we have to deal with customers sometimes giving us critiques about what's confusing, what could be done better. And let me tell you, if you told me, hey, your website, it's stupid, just make it like all the other websites, it's annoying to navigate. It doesn't really tell me what the problem is.
Well, he goes on to say, just make it like every other content streaming on-demand app.
Right.
Just
and since
copy
they're all exactly the same. But here's where I do appreciate Kylan's, he didn't just try on the app. He tried on the computer, on the Roku, on the Fire Stick, and on the Apple TV. So at least he's done his due diligence to try it in all those places. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mary, could you help me understand this last line? I'm sorry to whoever designer friend is going to lose here, but this is terrible.
I had to read it 5 or 6 times. I think what he's saying is like, I'm sorry to whoever designer friend. That's how I read it, which doesn't make a whole lot more sense. To whoever all of a sudden he's switched to he's being them, and it's them saying our designer friend, but the we part is a little confusing.
He's saying that maybe this was like nepotism. They let one of their designer friends just take a crack at the app here.
I think so.
Yeah, you got to lose them. Right.
He's saying, you guys, you have your designer friend. Oh, I said you guys there. Y'all's designer friend is gonna lose because of this complaint. by Kyland. They're going to lose out on, I don't know, are they getting fired because of this
Maybe
complaint?
he meant web designer. Is that a typo?
Oh, yeah, that makes way more sense. Web designer friend. Okay. I like my interpretation better.
I'm sorry to whoever web designer friend is going to lose here.
Right. Yeah, I'm assuming that he's saying that Adult Swim hired a friend to be their web designer, and not that the web designer is going to lose a friend, unless he's the web designer's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mary, what's the response here? All right, for Adult Swim.
Right. Yeah, they didn't send a response. But they didn't. They didn't make that one a priority. I think that the response, if I like the snarky content managers for brands, so I think that you just respond back and say it's fixed, it's less stupid now.
What if could we shame him? Could we say sir, thank you very much for your response. We have laid off the web designer friend in charge of this app that our friend has now lost all benefits and health care. And thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's good. Now you could follow that up as saying, now, since we have laid off our web designer friend, I'm sorry to say that there are absolutely no changes that can be made to the site, and it will continue being stupid and not like any other content streaming service.
Okay. All right. So that was, Kylan coming in hot. Really wants to watch Adult Swim.
What's on Adult Swim nowadays? Anything good?
I have no idea.
I mean, I got to imagine that the relay 400's probably pretty good.
Sure. Yeah, probably loses out to the Olympics.
Probably. That's what I would assume.
Yeah. Okay. So here's one. This is another person's complaint. This person is named Swartha Patti, who says, cannot book advanced tickets with @Cinemania app. And it seems like every user is having this issue. Wonder what Cinemania support or Cinemia?
Yeah, this is what's confusing. Because Cinemania makes more sense, but Cinemia, I mean, my biggest critique here is, how do you pronounce this brand?
Yeah. Cinemia sounds like some sort of deficiency.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
I think I might have Cinemia.
Yeah, haven't got my movie quota.
Yeah. So Cinemia app sucks. That's somebody's Twitter account. Cinemia is a big scam. User being robbed. #Cinemia. #scam. #scam alert. #Cinemia sucks. By the way, do you think that this could be one of Kylan's burners?
Oh, now that's a good question. So if you're Kylan and you're making your pitches to these companies and not getting responses, it could work. And is he like sort of catfishing the companies too, or some of his thing, like this one right here? It's got 350 retweets and 400 likes. So did he just make a bunch of accounts to do that?
I think the 303 of them might have been in the last week. I'm not
Fair
sure.
enough.
Yeah. So he responded to this person, said, I'm setting up a class action lawsuit. Message me or comment if you'd like to join.
I feel like this, unfortunately, this was back in April of 2019, but probably would have a lot more responses now.
Yeah. Okay. What I think, if we're doing the customer service here, do we just ghost him once he mentions the class action lawsuit? Do we bring legal involved?
I think you wait to see how it pans out. But, I have scrolled down a little bit here, and Cinemia did respond back to the replying, I guess, to Kylan Young and everybody. Our team sent you a message. Could you please check your DMs? So,
okay. All right.
There we go.
Who knows what they said? Okay. All right, Mary. So that was the class action lawsuit. No word on if that has really taken off yet.
No word yet, but I think that based on their naming, that's the least of Cinemia's problems.
So Okay. Mary, do you ever rent a scooter?
I had a friend who tried one of these scooters exactly one time, and they fell off and hit their shin. So I have not personally rented a scooter. Do you have any of those in North Carolina? Are they
I haven't
around?
seen any. I used to see a lot in Los Angeles, but I never did it. That I feel like, do I need a helmet for that, or am I just sort of like is it like
Or a
anything like
shin
that?
guard at the very least, it seems
Shin
like is
guard?
the problem.
Yeah.
I think my issue with them right now is every time I see one lying on the sidewalk, they don't have enough charge to use. So I looked
Oh,
into it
somebody has
once.
to charge them?
Well, I assume so. Like, I mean, if someone rides it and then just tosses it down somewhere, I don't really know how it works. I think there's like a app where you can volunteer to go pick them up and charge them yourselves. But
You should complain
um,
because it's very confusing.
yeah, it's very confusing. I see them around all the time, but I've never been on one myself. So
Yeah. Okay. So this is one. This is a screenshot that Yazzie had gotten. So the company GoTrax has a scooter. This is from 2019 was a very complainy year for Kylan. Your commute, your scooter, ride GoTrax. Kylan responded, "Can someone from customer service please help me?" This is at 1:10 a.m. On April 9th, 2019. They did respond on May 7th of 2019. Absolutely. Can you please DM us and we'll get you taken care of? To which Kylan replied, "Did you just respond to me a month later?"
the best part about this is that clearly Kylan like had a scooter or was trying to get one. And when you're getting these scooters, it's because you're trying to, travel somewhere quickly. And so I can only assume that what happened here was that Kylan had a scooter and there was an issue with it, and that he just had to hang on to it for the entire month until he got a response back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so he kept it the whole month. What did
Yeah.
we say to him that he just called us out for responding to him a month later?
You know, let's see. You could say that we were facing a class action lawsuit. Sorry that we didn't get back to you until now.
Yes, it's
Yes.
very important that we get back to you.
Yes. And can we help you this month?
Yes, we're here now.
Yes, they're here now.
Mhm.
What's the problem?
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. Kylan was not happy. No word on that. If that ultimately got resolved. Okay. Mary, this one might blow your mind.
Oh.
But even the very network that currently is employing Kylan is not immune to Kylan complaints, because Kylan reached out to CBS Big Brother
Oh my gosh.
in 2018. CBS Big Brother tweeted, "One house guest will kiss their Big Brother game goodbye tonight in an all new episode. And it all starts at 9/8 Central." And Kylan wrote back and said, "I have the CBS app logged in, but I'm only seeing NFL preseason football when I click watch live option. WTF?"
So
Okay. I think I got
this one.
I think I got this one, Mary.
Okay. Give me your answer.
In fairness to us, our web designer friend just completed building this app. We're going to recommend them to Adult Swim.
Perfect. Yes. Blame it on the web designer friend. Now, the great part about this one is that this is a problem that I myself have had with the CBS app, and a real quick Google search sorted me out. So I feel like this is, there's two type of people. There's the type of people who Google to try and answer the problem, and the type of people who just go straight to the source, right to CBS, have them sort it out for you.
Yeah. Do you think that the CBS Big Brother app provides a lot of technical support? Like the Twitter account?
I don't think so.
No.
But I think that my experience with I don't want to hate on the social media form of customer support. But I
Mhm.
think a lot of times the person who is responding to your social media complaint is not necessarily the same person who is going to fix the problem. And so, in this circumstance, I think that this might go unwarranted. I really love the fake tear on Rockstar's
Yeah,
face in this picture. Also, that's
the
really
post.
helpful. But yeah, this one, this one's really interesting. Just knowing where Kylan is now,
Mhm.
and yeah, I wonder if he will continue to pose complaints to CBS post show.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mary, that the first time Kylan complains outside of the house, people are gonna go nuts. People are gonna love it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that he's got to have a lot more
He's gonna be
traction.
drunk with power of like, can you imagine where it's like the first airline that loses his luggage, that thing's gonna get 10,000 retweets.
Oh yeah. It's going to be good. And I think that he will see possibly more success. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like now, I mean, this screenshot, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't look like
No,
CBS
no traction.
responded to him.
But I'm
Yeah,
telling
I
you
don't think
that if
so.
he wants to get that Popeyes chicken sandwich recipe changed, like this could be the moment.
Yes. I love the person who took this screenshot. Their phone battery was only at 15%, but they had to get this screenshot
They
in.
got it out. They got it
Yeah.
out there. Okay. All right. Did you ever eat at the chain of restaurant, the Halal Guys?
I don't, but let's see. Let's see if Kylan's going to be giving a good review.
Okay.
That would be nice
The
to
Halal
know.
Guys had a tweet said
Okay.
secret menu, not exactly, from 2019. Kylan's wrote, please check your DM.
Okay.
That's never good, right?
Straight and to the point. Now this is either we're going to assume that this is a complaint and not him saying this secret menu is awesome.
Mhm.
And thank you so much. I didn't want to release the secret out into the public. I'm
Mhm.
going to assume that this is a complaint and that it is he's reached the point where it is potentially such a large complaint that it cannot either. Now, here's
Yeah.
the question. Is it too many characters that he can't fit it? And that's why he went to the
He could
DMs.
have notes apped it though.
Oh, that's true. A notes app complaint.
Mhm.
That would be exciting. Or is he just thinking that I cannot please my way out of this? I cannot use such language as
Can
just
you please
stupid.
not make
Yeah.
the secret menu so stupid?
Yes. Food also looks pretty good, so I like a nice crinkle cut fry.
Looks good. So, Mary, please check your DM. I think is the we have to talk of social media.
Yeah, not good. Not good. And I think if I get the we have to talk text, I'm not checking those DMs. I'm not answering my phone. I'm not checking the DMs. I would say go ahead, skip to the conclusion. Person's not going to be happy. It's not going to go well for me. Just going to exit that conversation completely.
Okay. All right. Let's things are going to escalate here. This is a big one. Okay. Mary, have you ever had Lenny and Larry's cookies?
I actually have seen those around. I feel like I've seen them at like gyms and places. I think
Yeah.
it might be at my climbing gym. That looks familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lenny and Larry, poor Lenny and Larry here. They've only got 7,400 followers. They make vegan, kosher, non-dairy, no egg, fresh baked, no soy, GMO free alternative to protein bars.
Yeah.
Lenny
good-
and Larry. Yeah.
Nice, good small cookie company. Makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So they're working on their cookies. Everything's going well until February 28th of 2019, when Kylan wrote to them and said, when and why did you guys change your cookie formula to now have more carbs and almost double the fat? I've been subscribed to your products via Amazon since the macros used to work great for my meal plan and only just noticed the nutritional info changed.
How many cookies do you think he got through before he noticed the nutritional info changed?
Yeah.
Because this seems like the kind of complaint that must have really snuck up on him. It's not like, oh, I get one cookie, open it. Huh, that's interesting. It's different. It's got to be something that, to have that kind of pent up anger. This sounds more like someone who's realized that they have, fallen for a classic blunder here.
Yes, and Lenny and Larry better watch themselves. They're going to be on the business end of a class action lawsuit.
Oh no, poor Lenny and Larry's. This is tricky. People really they like to know what's in their cookie. And I guess the answer here from them is, the complicated part is that he's subscribed via Amazon.
Yep.
Now, how does that work? You can subscribe to a particular product and just get
you could get like monthly delivery.
Okay,
You might have been getting a lot of these cookies.
Yeah, I would say if I'm Lenny and Larry's, you got
a one-timer, like pick it up at the gas station.
But you've got a pretty easy out here if you're Lenny and Larry and saying, well, you subscribe via Amazon. If you've been subscribed via our own personal site, you would have gotten the email blast that we sent out updating everyone about our more carbs and double the fat. But because you subscribe through third party, this will teach you.
Mary, you're making him feel wrong. We've gotta do better.
Okay, how's this for a spin? Yes, we have doubled our carbs and fat because
at no extra charge to you.
No extra charge to you. And just think of all the gains you could be getting.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
Exactly. I think
Mary,
that's the way you need to go about it.
Yes. You're a marathon runner. Wouldn't you love a cookie that could give you double the carbs in the same amount of time?
Exactly. This is, think about the spin that way. You're doing your thing. Look here, because also I'm sure that this was something that Frenchie wrote into, right? He needs to cover up his meathead status, needs to really quickly gain some carbs and fat before he goes into the Big Brother house. Mm-hmm. And so this is the perfect kind of product. There's all kind of scenarios where this is the optimal cookie combination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Let's do one more. This one is my favorite. And let's check out what Kylan had to say to McDonald's.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
He hit Popeyes. Let's see what McDonald's has got.
Okay. I mean, he was much kinder to Popeyes. Okay. This one, Kylan has taken a picture of his receipt here and at McDonald's in August of 2019. We just passed the 2-year anniversary of this tweet. At McDonald's, how come an egg costs $3.40? That's how much a dozen eggs is at the store. Hashtag expensive. Hashtag not loving it. And you see here, Mary, look at this receipt. Because you see a sausage biscuit costs $1.89, but a sausage egg biscuit costs $5.29.
The sausage egg McMuffin only costs $4.99 though, so he's not factoring in that the egg costs less there if you get the McMuffin.
I mean, I guess that, but I'll buy that a biscuit costs 30 cents more than a McMuffin.
Yeah, now this is interesting because I think we all have a moment in our lives where we realize that shopping at the grocery store is generally more cost effective than going to a restaurant. And this is Kylan's moment for that. He's realizing that $3.40, I mean, when you go to a restaurant and you buy a cup of hot tea, it's like $5, and a package of, 100 tea bags at the store is like $4.50. So this is, it's a complaint. Now, it's not a complaint, luckily, that I ever have to deal with because I don't eat eggs. So they creep me out. And now I've got even more reason for that.
Hashtag expensive.
Yeah. Hashtag expensive. Perfect.
Mary, do you mind? Can I ask you about that? What the eggs creep you out?
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't understand I don't really understand the biology, but beyond that, it's like, they don't have flavor. If anything, you think about people who talk about negative smells and like rotten egg, or it smells like eggs, or gross eggs. Like that's a negative smell. And so who's loving eggs? Like, if you're making an omelet or like a scrambled eggs and you're putting cheese and salsa and all kinds of things on it, what do? You're just covering up the egg part. It's because eggs aren't good on their own. I would eat all the rest of that stuff without the eggs. I have a stance where I only eat eggs that are made with love, and this is a firm stance of mine. If I make myself some eggs, I know they're made with love. If my parents make me some eggs, that's one thing. But like, who's going to a hotel buffet and opening that thing and just scoop? You love eggs so much that you need
Mhm.
some of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're yellow. It's just I don't. There's no reason. And now we know $3.40 at McDonald's.
Mhm.
So I'm saying no eggs. Egg expensive.
You're not
And
loving it.
I'm not loving it. I'm not loving it. Now that being said, McDonald's, I think that they pull the perfect response for a big
Mhm.
chain, right? They're going to say, "Look, you've reached out to McDonald's, not your local branch of McDonald's, and we're sorry that you're disappointed, but they're going to put it on the little guy. Individual restaurants have to deal with this, not us."
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, this is before you could even get to the patented supply chain issues, Kylan.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Um,
that's the answer you would get in 2021.
Uh-huh. Right. Right. But here, yeah, he's just, the individual restaurants determine menu prices, which may vary based on a variety of
Mhm.
local or national factors, including food costs.
Yeah.
Um,
Mary,
yeah.
right here's what Kylan doesn't see, that he's been handed the exact answer key to put a multi-billion-dollar international corporation out of business.
Yeah. This
Buy a sausage biscuit at $1.89, then buy a dozen eggs at $3.40. Now you can be selling a sausage egg biscuit for what? $3, $4. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think that he should realize this. He could make a whole new chain, and
Mhm.
he's really cracked the problem here. Found a good solution.
Yeah. And Mary, I also feel like that Kylan is really looking this other blessing, in the face. He got one bag for $0.00 also.
Yeah, you get the bag for free, and a S coffee. It's probably small coffee.
That's coffee. I think it might be Scotch coffee.
Probably. So when
Yeah.
you factor that in, he really comes away with a deal. All right. I mean, this is where else are you getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items for $13.92 and tax? That bag for free. It really does. It really does help even out the score.
Mhm. Yeah.
This is interesting. Now, do you think you can order just an individual egg? I bet like most of these places, you're always seeing people hack the system, right, and order just like a slice of cheese and things. I wonder if you order the individual egg, if it ends up being less than $3.40.
I don't know.
He could just build his own egg McMuffin or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So look, that was all about the Kylan complaints, but in doing our research for this segment, we stumbled across something that I have not heard a lot of people talking about. Would you be shocked, Mary, if I told you that Kylan, in addition to Twitter, has another place where he could be able to talk about and potentially complain about any brand he wants?
Wow. Look at this. Conversations with Kyland, a podcast. So you're telling me that another person has created a podcast? What is the world coming to?
Yeah. So
We're having to compete with Kyland traffic now?
check this out. Conversations with Kyland is a podcast from Kyland Young. And there are 9 episodes that are up on Apple Podcasts for people to check out. And Mary, Kylan is covering such topics as a lot of conspiracy theories with a 3-time guest, Cameron Waters, including the Cowspiracy and
Cowspiracy.
Christspiracy. Yeah.
Cowspiracy. Now that sounds good. Now that sounds almost like the eggspiracy, but potentially more cow-like. Okay, veganism, interesting.
Yeah.
These are some big topics from Kylie.
Big
Now, does he
topics.
whisper exclusively like he does on the feeds?
No, I think that the sound levels are normal here on Conversations with Kylan. Now, interestingly enough, all of the podcast episodes for Conversations with Kylan all came out the same day on December 12th, 2020.
December 12th, 2020. Interesting. So one really busy day from a podcaster, or just now that's okay. You've been podcasting a long time. Do you find that dropping all of your content on one day helps?
No, I would say that's a terrible strategy.
Okay.
But also equally bad would be then to put all the podcasts out in one day and then never to make any more. But maybe this was just season 1.
Maybe it was just season 1. No, that seems kind of like the one with the shoot.
Cereal?
Yeah, Cereal. Thank you.
But they didn't drop Cereal all in one day. Like,
no, but they come out, they come out close together, and then you've got multiple seasons. So maybe we'll get like Kyspiracies season 2.
Yeah.
Kyversations.
So the reason why I bring this up is because Kyland, we've seen negative feedback for Kyland, from Kyland, but that many reviews came in for the Kylan podcast, all in the same day. And I wanted to read some positive reviews here because that's what we like to do on this podcast. Talk about some we told you about some of the negative, but let's talk about some of these great reviews that came in for the Kylan podcast. And Mary, these are glowing reviews.
Oh, great. I'm excited to hear it.
Okay. All right. So let's read some of the reviews here from because it's almost like that these are almost like as some of these other like criticisms were so negative. These are like the exact opposite.
Uh-huh. Can you start? Let's start with the one from Dominique down here on December 13th, 2020. Great communicator.
Yeah.
Kylan is truly so good at communicating and keeps the conversations interesting and engaging. When I'm listening, I feel like I'm right there in the room listening to friends talk. Now,
has that been your experience on the feeds, Mary?
Yeah. Not so much. Now, to be fair, this podcast could be edited, so maybe it's a little bit keeping the conversation interesting and engaging. I mean, when Kylan is doing his 4-hour whisper talks in bed at night, I think it would be I do, because of the whispering and the turning the volume up on my computer so loud so I can hear it. I do feel like I'm right there in the room listening to him. So I agree with that part, but the keeping the conversation interesting and engaging, that part's a little bit maybe less so. So maybe I need to check out the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. How about this review? This is from Chris Toxwijic says Kylan for president. This podcast is a gift in these trying times. Kylan has such a unique perspective of the world and is able to have conversations with groups that aren't having constructive conversations right now. He treats everyone with respect, and you can see the trust everyone has for him with the way they open up a conversation. Thankful to be able to add this to my walks and drives to work when that's a thing again. Really an amazing person with so much to offer. Regardless of your background, you're going to love this. And so this is seems to be a theme here that look, I'm not one for a cowspiracy, okay?
Okay.
But of the 7 reviews, many of them mention about how this is a great podcast to listen to when you're driving to work. That seems to be like a theme among the reviews.
Yeah, which is interesting considering they're all from December of 2020, when most people were still working from home.
Right. And I feel like that, if your podcast had said, unless I haven't listened to these episodes, unless the podcast said, hey, leave us a review and tell us how this is a great podcast to listen to while you're commuting.
Right. Yeah. I think that's kind of the thing where it's like, all right, podcasts. When do people listen to podcasts? When they're getting ready, doing laundry, commuting. Okay, great. Let's talk about how we like that.
Yeah.
Now listening to the podcast on my way to work when stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
This
that.
one is from December 14th. Says, looking forward to more episodes. Great way to escape while stuck in LA traffic. Kylan's perspective and how he engages with his guests makes you feel as if you were a part of this conversation the entire time.
Wow.
Mhm.
December 15th. The world needs to hear Kylan Young. Well, luckily the world is hearing Kylan Young now, so that did happen. Good, checks out. His experience, knowledge, skills, and talents are what make this podcast one of, if not my favorite podcast to listen to. All 9 episodes.
Yeah.
You will binge and listen to this, then re-listen over and over again.
Re-listen over.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, well, one more from that the day after the podcast all came out. This is come sit at the table. In a world of unlimited podcasts and often divisive conversations, Kylan's voice, much like his name, is unique and stands apart from the rest. The variety of guests and topics, along with the open dialogue, welcomes all types of listeners and ideas. Kylan provides something for everyone and shares an environment that invites us all to sit at the table and join in. Already can't wait for more. Boom.
Wow, I love this. If only I had
Great
some
reviews.
Yeah, if only I had some reviews for my podcast that had such
Mhm.
eloquent and thought out descriptions and titles taken directly from the description itself. They're very professional. Love
Yeah.
this.
So these were like some well thought out positive comments that
Positive reviews.
positive reviews for the podcast.
Interesting.
Okay.
Great. Wow.
So we'll see if Conversations with Kylan gets picked up for season 2 after the show.
I'm really excited. I feel like this has been an unreported topic, so we are breaking the news here about the podcast, and I expect to see many more ratings and reviews in the future.
And if any of our listeners or patrons want to listen to some Conversations with Kylan episodes and find any gems, please let us know. robhaswebsite.com/getsloppy.
Yes. Hashtag Kyspiracy. Thank you.
Conspiracy. I still think that you should take Cowspiracy.
I should. I need to find out more about this Cowspiracy.
Yeah.
It's intriguing.
Yeah, the guest for the Cowspiracy podcast was a good Twitter follow.
Yeah.
Get some fun tweets along the way.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I'm kind of
He's
sad
looking
that
for some Burning Man tickets.
Oh, okay. Well, make sure that somebody gets those to him. I'm wondering here if we missed out on Kylan, bringing his podcast into the Big Brother house.
Yeah. Do you think that would have been good to get some interviews?
It could have been interesting. I mean, maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's waiting for season 2 of his podcast, and he'll interview the other house guests
Or himself.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Mary, so I wanted to then also talk about something that I noticed the other night when I was watching the show. Did you notice that the opening credits came back the last couple of episodes?
Yeah, that's not usually a good sign. Just based on the length.
Really,
of the
kind of
content.
reeks of the fact that maybe they don't have too much to put in these episodes.
Yeah, but what did you notice? Did you notice a potential conspiracy?
Yeah, I'm wondering if the cowspiracies are really coming true, because I want to show them, because I wonder if that maybe the producers might have had some spoilers, and we might have been getting some inside info on the season from the start and might have missed it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so let me go ahead and share with you the opening credits here for BB23, because I think it's interesting. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's play this, and then we'll go through it. Okay, so Big Brother 23. Okay, so Now, this is the weakest part of my theory, okay?
Okay.
But
All
it
right.
seems to me like the people that are on the screen together ended up having a lot in common during the season.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we've got
Now
first Ozza here.
Ozza and here's Travis. Okay, I'll be honest. Let's come back to them.
Okay, yeah, I'd say it's difficult with Travis given the short period of time he was in the house anyway to come up with a
Yeah.
whole lot of conclusions.
Maybe Ozza
Sure.
will win and Travis was the first one out. Maybe they're bookends. We'll come back to them.
Okay,
Okay.
come back.
All right.
Sure.
But then here we go. Here's Brittany and Derek X. Well, natural connection. They're the only two people that were in the jury house.
Of course, yeah.
America's
First two
favorites.
America's favorites. First two members.
They got hosed by this twist. Give these two 100 BB bucks. That's
Perfect.
a natural pair.
Yeah, I think they knew going in. They put together the people that they knew were going to be fan favorites, but unfortunately, they taken out too soon. Makes sense.
Okay. All right. So then next up, Alyssa.
Oh,
And who's she with? Xavier.
Xavier.
This
Wow.
pair, they ended up having a lot of connections in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, they had connections in the house. You know, maybe a love connection on one side,
Who
and
knows?
they're on the same team, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
This is good. Your theory's getting stronger.
Okay.
Okay.
Then check this out. Here's Claire
Right.
and Frenchie. The super fans.
Super fans. Yep. You know, I think they both hate meatheads, so this is good.
Both hate meatheads. So
Uh-huh.
they have something in common. There's some connective tissue there.
Sure.
And then here, Hannah
Right.
and Derek F. Both in
you
the
know,
cookout.
In the cookout, but also two other big winners of the BB Bucks. You know, that's also there. I would say they're bringing a lot of entertainment and content to the you know, like a big blue couch kind of stuff. Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. And then here's Whitney
Ooh,
and
right?
Brent.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
they were connected.
They were connected. They were a lot of people saw them as sort of a partnership there.
Maybe, yeah. They
think
were together as
Yeah.
an alliance in the beginning.
Sure.
She hated him. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And then Tiffany and Christian, of course, that there was a bond there. Christian is also the name of Tiffany's son.
Yes.
Something.
Definitely. She was using him as one of her meat shields. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then last but not least, Sarah and Kylan. It was right there the whole time.
It was right there. Yeah. You know? And I wonder if some of this was, you know, I don't know how they go about filming these intros, but if they film them at all in any kind of similar groupings or orders or anything like that, you know, it's giving people some time to just scope it out, if you will, and for Kylan to get those eyes on Sarah Beth and vice versa instantly. So this is great. I think this holds a lot of water here.
Are you just saying that, Mary?
You know,
Some of them are better than others.
Some are better than others, but I think like you know, I like a nice conspiracy, and I think that it's really hard to look past a couple of the pairings. But you know, when you've got Xavier and Alyssa and Kylan and Sarah Beth here, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, I think that we could certainly re-edit this later to just pair up everybody with their cookout and their side pieces.
Do better.
Sure.
You certainly could do better. But I mean, this was like started on like the first weekend of the show, so it wasn't like that they like had too much of an inkling unless they knew the spoilers.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, as we all know, that Kylan and Sarah Beth were America's secret couple.
America's couple. Boy, when Tiffany watches the first episode, she could be, I knew it.
Yep. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So plus I do think it was fairly evenly split for the first several people shown there were pre-jury. So you know,
yeah,
it
spaced
makes
it out.
sense.
They knew what they were doing, Mary.
They did. They did. Have you done some big data research on these intros and on like if there's a particular spot you want to show up in the intro to be
No, I
considered a
haven't.
winner?
No, I have not done the research assignment.
I bet somebody has. I'll have to look into that. Things to think
Yeah.
about.
I
For
know
sure.
they used to be like on the memory wall. That used to be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, people like to see correlations and all kinds of stuff, but
Sure.
this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
Okay.
job.
Mary, I had one other theory just to
Okay.
share with the group because the other
Yes.
night we watched the power veto competition and we got to see all of the house guests try to put this story into order. And it was a story about Frenchie brought a tarantula into the school. And obviously there was a mishap where Christian got injured, had to get medical attention
Mm-hmm.
for his arm. There was some tomfoolery in the lab where Travis was doing this experiment and had this explosion happen and burned all his hair up. And I was trying to talk this through the other night, and we're on the podcast, and everybody's like, "Rob, come on, what are you doing here? There's nothing to talk about here. There's no sense of talking about this." And Mary, I watched then the very next episode of Big Brother, and I watched a story play out that was remarkably similar. And I'm wondering if there was foreshadowing of Big D out on the hammock getting chased by a giant bug, causing him to fall out of the hammock, make Hannah go flying and get injured and hurt her head. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, the kitchen is on fire with a fire, much like Travis's science experiment. I'm like, this is all happening again, and nobody sees it. It was right there. It was a warning.
It was right there the whole time. There's a lot to be said for this conspiracy. I think this one holds a little more water than your last
good.
one does. Yeah,
Yes.
because here's the thing. There's probably some scientific research done about seeing images and how that can make you,
Manifest them.
manifest them, right? And so, they had some time in between seeing this competition and really analyzing it. And maybe, the tarantula coming to school, that starts getting Big D thinking about his fear of bugs and how
And it
he
was
needs
Frenchie
to.
holding the spider also.
Right, and so that image is gonna stick, in his head in particular. Travis, I believe, was the one with the scientific experiment, right? And that caused an explosion on the same team as Claire, who was in the
Meathead.
kitchen.
And what went on fire, Mary?
I don't remember, what was it?
Meat.
The oven? Yes,
Meat.
the meat, right. A meathead. Yeah, and Claire was there, who was on his team to witness it happen. So that makes sense. And Christian hurt himself, and then Hannah did. And Hannah was thinking about Christian because
She won the veto.
Yeah.
She memorized
Okay.
it. She had those
the
pictures burned in her brain.
Right? Yep. So
It's like, you ever watch on Heroes, and there was a guy that used to like paint the things before they happened.
Yeah. That was that was on Smallville too. It's really, this is really, and I know that very few people are going to care about this, but like literally the episode of Riverdale this week was about someone painting pictures that then were foreshadowing events that were going to happen.
Yeah.
It's all out there right now in the universe.
Yeah, it's out there. All right. Mary, do you have anything else sloppy to talk about tonight?
Not as much. I think that people have been talking a lot about the the Xavier complaining stuff inside the house. And I think Xavier really needs to go talk to Kylan and
Yeah,
figure out exactly
Xavier.
how to
This
shape
is
this to get the responses,
yeah. That this is you don't even know what complaining is, Xavier.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that they can have a conversation, really figure out some good methods to kind of advance Xavier's complaining to get really the response that he wants. And you know what? After going through, we didn't mention this before, but after going through all of Kylan's complaining things, it seemed like that the one real benefit he got was from the Colgate. And that was the one where he said, "Hey, maybe I'm not normally about you, but maybe you're changing my mind." So I think it's all about complain and come at this with a positive outlook.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that's interesting, Mary, because I feel like that typically the squeaky wheel gets the grease,
uh-huh.
the oil, right?
Right.
And that the one time he got something from one of these companies was when he gave them a compliment.
Well, and I think that just shows that all people on social media, even the heads of these social media brands and their social media correspondents, are they just want positivity in their lives.
Yeah. Feed the positive, Kylan. So
Yes.
we'll see if that continues when he gets out of the house. All right. Mary, well, this was so much fun tonight.
It was great. It was great. I had a good time. I feel like I learned a lot. I feel like we broke some new ground. I've got a whole new podcast to listen to on my commute. Now my commute currently is from my bed to my desk. So it's
Hey,
going to take a
there's
while
only
to get
9
through
episodes,
those.
Mary.
Yeah, yeah. And when I'm listening to them in 20-second clips, it's going to take a while. So I've got years of podcasting to listen to really in these 9 episodes. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to season 2. So that's going to be great.
Yes. Mary, when you run, do you listen to music or you listen to podcasts?
Mostly podcasts. Yeah, that's when I save my I've got, my kind of my podcast that I've got to get through in a timely manner, such as the Big Brother ones, weekly episodes. And then I've got my my fun podcast. That's like where I put like Renap and stuff and
Oh, good.
listen to those
Ooh,
on.
we're in the fun podcast
Yeah,
category?
you're in the fun
Oh.
podcast. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to getting some of those, that and then some other like post-show recap content. That goes in the fun podcast. So
Do you, when you need to go faster, do you speed up the talking?
oh, I haven't tried that. That's a really good idea. I've mentioned this before, but I have a race coming up in 2 weeks, and I have a very special podcast that is downloaded specifically for that point in a marathon when you're really, really struggling and you need some perfect content to listen
Which
to.
episode of Conversations with Kylan is it?
Yeah, it's the Cowspiracy one. No,
Mhm.
that of course is the you and Josh Wigler doing all the impressions for the rites of passage on the
Oh,
TEOS. Yeah,
yeah.
that's my favorite. So that one really does that really boosts up your speed, and your energy when you're running.
Wow.
Highly recommend.
Okay. Never heard that before.
Yeah, I recommend it. Everyone
Okay.
check that out if you haven't already. But
Mary,
yeah.
where can people check out more of what you're doing? All your cowspiracies.
Right. Yeah. Go over to Apple Music and look up Kowski Cast. Leave some good reviews. You can just go ahead and copy and paste those ones over from Kylan's podcast and put my name on it. That'll work.
Wait, do you have to put your name? Just put Kylan.
Just Kylan.
Yeah.
First person to do that will get a shout out on the podcast. So feel free. Yeah, you can check out where, of course, Kirsten McInnes and I are covering Riverdale, and we're about to start book 2 of the Twilight Saga. So if you're listening to the movie recaps on post-show recaps, check out the book recaps over on Kowski Cast. We're doing that. And, I'm sure we'll cover something fun for spooky season. We covered Haunting of Hill House last year. So maybe something fun around here.
Yes, Mary for president.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I have such a, what was that? A unique sounding voice and a unique sounding name or something.
Yes.
Mary? Yeah.
Yes, for a unique voice for a unique time.
Uh-huh.
Unique name.
Yeah, so feel free to check that out. And otherwise, I'm pretty sure everything else you can find me on is on Rob's podcast. So you know where that is.
All right. Well, Mary, this was a great job here tonight. Remember, we were like, do we have enough stuff to talk about?
Yeah, well, when you really break down every single one of Kylan's complaints, it can
We
draw
did
it
that
out.
in 2 hours. We didn't even get into his Yelp reviews.
Exactly.
The poor
This
drain
was great.
company.
Oh, I feel so bad for them. but it's okay. It's okay.
Mhm.
Feed the positives. And I've learned this week that to fear not. So maybe I'll check out some horror films and go hunt down the Jeff Probst that I've got under my bed. So everything's coming together.
Sorry.
What's that?
I went for the wrong that I hit the on the soundboard that I know where things are on the soundboard, and I went to go hit the.
Be not afraid.
But I had a
Right.
different tab up, and then I ended up hitting the same spot on a different tab, which is the Matt
That's a
Klein.
good one.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
What is-
What were you trying to do?
Yeah. All right. Well, Mary, great job. Very sloppy here tonight. Thank you so much. We have a lot more coming up. Of course, I got to talk with Mary's co-host over on the Kowski cast, Kirsten McInnes, when we talked about Sex and a Kiwi.
Oh, so excited. My next
Mhm.
long run.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun on the latest Robin and Kivanita podcast. And then I recorded again with Mike Bloom today, the third part of our Survivor 41 preview series, where we listened to the final 6 Survivor 41 preseason interviews. That should be up for you on Tuesday, plus not to mention everything else coming your way on Tuesday between the live feed update, news AF, and I'll be talking about the second best season of all time, Survivor Cagayan. While the the Big Brother Roundtable is going to be live. So it's just a jam-packed day of content coming up on Tuesday.
So exciting. I have no clue what this #1 podcast is going to be, but really excited.
I'm not going to spoil it. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.